Title: Oma, the beautiful but arrogant girl. Once upon a time, in a vibrant village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a girl named Oma. Oma was known far and wide for her extraordinary beauty. Her skin was the color of rich mahogany, her eyes sparkled like the clearest rivers, and her hair flowed like the darkest silk. Everyone who saw her could not help but marvel at her beauty. But as Oma grew older, she became aware of the power her beauty held over people. She began to look down upon others, believing herself to be better than them simply because of her looks. She refused to help with chores, mocked those she considered less attractive, and often bragged about how no one could ever be as beautiful as she was. One day, as Oma was walking through the village, she saw an old woman sitting by the roadside, struggling to carry a heavy basket of yams. The woman, with wrinkled skin and gray hair, looked up at Oma and asked for help. "Please, my child, could you help me carry this basket to my hut? It is too heavy for me," the old woman pleaded. Oma sneered and looked down at the old woman with disdain. "Why should I, the most beautiful girl in the village, waste my time helping someone like you? You are old and ugly. Find someone else to help you," Oma replied haughtily. The old woman's eyes glistened with sadness, but she did not argue. Instead, she murmured a quiet blessing and continued on her way, struggling under the weight of the basket. Unbeknownst to Oma, the old woman was not just any ordinary villager. She was a powerful spirit in disguise, sent by the gods to test the hearts of humans. The gods had grown concerned with Oma's arrogance and wanted to teach her a lesson. That night, as Oma slept, she had a strange dream. She found herself in a vast, barren land where everything was colorless and dull. The trees were leafless, the rivers dry, and the skies a lifeless gray. Oma wandered through this desolate place, calling out for help, but no one answered. As she wandered, she saw her reflection in a pool of still water. To her horror, her once beautiful face was now twisted and unrecognizable. Her hair was matted, her skin was rough and cracked, and her eyes were dull and lifeless. Panic seized her as she tried to wash her face in the water, but nothing she did could restore her beauty. Suddenly, the old woman appeared before her, no longer hunched and frail but standing tall and radiant. "Oma," the woman's voice echoed, "beauty is not eternal, and it is not the most important thing. It is the kindness in your heart and the respect you show to others that make you truly beautiful. You have lost sight of this, and now you must face the consequences." Oma fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Please forgive me. I have been foolish and arrogant. I will change, I promise." The old woman looked at Oma with compassion. "The gods are merciful, Oma. They are willing to give you a second chance, but you must prove that you have learned your lesson." With that, Oma awoke, drenched in sweat, and immediately ran to the old woman's hut. When she arrived, she found the old woman waiting for her, the heavy basket of yams still by her side. Without a word, Oma took the basket and carried it to the woman's hut. She worked tirelessly, helping the old woman with her chores, fetching water, and tending to her small garden. Oma no longer cared about her appearance or what others thought of her. All she wanted was to make amends for her past behavior. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, Oma's inner beauty began to shine through. The villagers noticed how kind and humble she had become, and they began to respect her not for her looks, but for the goodness of her heart. One morning, as Oma washed her face in the river, she caught a glimpse of her reflection. Her beauty had returned, but it was different now, softer, more genuine. She smiled, realizing that true beauty came from within. From that day on, Oma became known not just as the most beautiful girl in the village, but as the kindest and most compassionate as well. She lived her life with humility and gratitude, never forgetting the lesson she had learned. And so, Oma's story was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that beauty fades, but the goodness of the heart remains eternal.